Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Dawn. Dawn is from Oregon in the USA. So let's see what Dawn has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Looks like we finally got it.
Sure. Okay, Dawn, so just before we start the game, just tell me where are you from?
Oh, that's a complicated answer. I live in Amity, Oregon. I was born in California, Sacramento, and I've lived pretty much everywhere. Washington, Oregon, all around the United States, New York City for 10 years, Florida for 12 years, Iowa for 12 years, the Philippines for 5 years, Syria for 3 years.
Wow.
So I get around a little bit.
You've been traveling around. That's so lucky. Very good.
Now I've found my peaceful spot.
Amazing, amazing. And what do you do for a living?
I have been a writer most of my life and an educator. These days I am answering people's questions. Once the pandemic started, I decided that teaching wasn't a thing that I really wanted to be doing, and so found a job where I could answer people's plant care questions, teach them how to take care of their plants and stuff like that. And it's worked out pretty nicely. I make better money now than I did when I was in the classroom, and that's a little sad. Right. And what were you teaching before in the classroom? Science to little kids, to elementary kids, and that's a pretty awesome job.
And what was the most, what do you do like the most about teaching kids at the time?
Oof. Just the unexpected nature of kids and what response you might get, and taking a minute to suss out why that response might actually make sense. You know, helping a kid piece things together, helping them to discover the world around them. You know, teaching has been something I've really loved, but schools have been something that not as much.
I think people who have the chance to work with kids somehow, I think they learn a lot. So I'm sure it must be a bit tiring as well, you know what I mean? To have kids around, you know, express themselves, full of energy, but at the same time as well, I think it's a blast because you've learned a lot. So I think we learn a lot with kids, you know, being around kids, you just get the most of it, the most genuine things out of, you know, them, because they're so genuine, you know, they just say whatever they think, you know,
True.
So
It's true.
That's good. Very good. Okay, Dawn, so welcome to William and the Magic Box. A lovely box full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just to help you, wake you up a little bit more this Sunday morning, just to get us in the mood before the first question, okay? And by the way, if there is a question you don't have an answer for, you don't want to answer, I always can change and take another one, okay? It's all very chilled and friendly, okay? Very relaxing.
I'm good. I'm not shy, so don't worry.
Great, very good. I'm glad to know. Let's do it. Okay, Dawn, ready for the first question?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it. The first question is, what is the best advice have you ever given?
That I've ever been given, or I've given?
You given.
Ooh, best advice I've ever given is don't listen to my advice. I'm happy to talk to anybody about anything, as long as my advice is taken with a grain of salt, meaning it's about me and it's the way I see the world. So listen to what I say, throw it away if it doesn't work for you. How about that?
Very good. I love the answer. Very, very good. Let's go for the second one.
All right.
Let's do it. Right. Before the next question, as you're saying, you are a writer as well.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about your career as a writer.
Well, at this point, I've got about 300 books in print, and mainly for children, teachers, and parents. So, what is mass? What is matter? How does your brain work? Going to see a doctor, explaining basic science concepts to kids, or explaining to parents how to explain basic science concepts to kids. That kind of stuff. I've done a lot of magazine and a lot of online writing as well, so stuff that you don't necessarily get a byline for. So I have 100 different bylines out there. So if you're a kid, if you're a third grader, you probably know me, just you may not know my name.
Wow, amazing. Next question for you is, if you could ask for a miracle, what that would be and why?
A miracle. Never really been one for believing in miracles, but let's see. I think it would be that we could take a big step forward, that we could change this world in a way that makes it better for everybody, and not just the ones at the top, not just the ones at the bottom, not just the ones in the middle, but take some big step forward where we step around all of this bullshit that we've gotten ourselves wrapped up in and find a better way, Every day I spend hours out there with my animals. I know you can hear them out there. I've got cows, chickens, and sheep and goats and things like that.
So
and
lucky.
I gotta tell you, it has made me so centered. It has brought me down to life, down to earth, and has changed me in ways that I love. I've lived in New York City, I've lived in Miami, and had a ball in both of those places, but I gotta tell you, I wouldn't trade this for either.
Amazing. Wow, lucky you, very lucky. I live in London, so I wish I could have those sounds every morning to wake me up. Imagine, oh my God, it would be amazing.
Very different sounds in London. Very different.
Yes,
sounds.
for sure.
And smells.
Next question. Let's do it. Next question, Don. Let's do it. Ooh, next question is, what do you consider most romantic?
Most romantic. Most romantic is when someone takes the time to think about how a situation might impact the other person. I remember a date that I went out on when I was much younger. I thought about this guy and I thought, what's gonna blow this guy's mind? What's gonna make him really smile? And so I did a bunch of research and I found out that down by the waterfront in New York that night, they were doing a fireworks show in New Jersey, just across the river from this little restaurant. So I got this restaurant, I got this table right on the riverside. It was freaking awesome, right? Everything played out beautifully. So he says, let me set up the next date. Beautiful. Okay. Right? So what was the next date? Macaroni Grill in New Jersey in a mall. We didn't have a third date. I'm sorry. If you can't be a little more creative, a little more imaginative, then yeah, you're not going to get my time.
But I think the first one was just like just blow up everything, beautiful. I think that was just the first one was right enough. You know what I mean? If someone would do that for me, I would be like, oh my God, I want you for life. That's it.
Yeah. That was my thought. I really was impressed with this guy. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to show him a good time. Well, when we pulled up to a mall in New Jersey, the writer in me came out and the date was over.
It's not meant to be. That's what's the reason. That's meant to be.
Yeah.
Anyway, the memories.
Just taking notes.
And learning as well for the next one. For sure. For sure. Next question, Don. Let's do it. Okay, before the next question, and what was the most challenging part, in your opinion, be a teacher when you were teaching before? What was the most challenging part?
always being ready for everything to fall apart. You know, have a good solid lesson plan walking in the door, know what it is you're going to talk about, know all of the details, but also understand that 30 seconds in, little Johnny could have a very different agenda and your entire plan is gone. And you need to start from scratch and figure out a way to get to where you wanted to be. And it was the kind of thing that kept you awake and kept you interested and made life fun. I love a job where it's not the same, you know, plug this thing in, do that, turn around, touch this, you know. I want something where shit's gonna go wrong and I gotta figure it out.
Challenges.
Right?
Absolutely. I think challenges, it's good to have challenges for the day.
Exactly.
That's the way to learn.
Yeah, damn right.
Right, you talk about advice. Look, the next question. And what was the best advice have you ever received?
Ooh, best advice I ever received. Watch what I do, not what I say.
Actions speaks louder than words.
Damn right. Damn right. My stepfather, when I was in high school, said that to me, and you know what? He was right. And throughout my life, that's what I've tried to do, is measure the individual for what they do, not some of the silly that comes out of their mouth from time to time.
Sure, for sure. I agree. Ready for the next one, Don?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Are you drinking coffee or tea?
Coffee. I'm an American. What can I say?
Next question for you is, what scares you the most about your future?
What scares me the most? I don't know that I'm scared of anything. I'm curious. I'm puzzled. I'm troubled from time to time, but I'm not scared. I'm ready. I got my eyes wide open. I'm ready for what's going to come. I've got my little farm here. I can grow most of what I need. I can raise most of what I need. I don't need the outside world, so I'm not scared. I'm ready.
You are living the present. That's what matters.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's no point in being scared. You know,
Absolutely.
life is
Yeah.
too freaking short. Find something you love and do it.
And whatever it will come anyway. So let's do it. Yes.
Exactly.
Let's leave it. That's what it's about. Next question. Okay, Don, before the next question, you're saying that you lived abroad before, yeah?
Yeah.
And what was the most, let's say, living abroad, what's the biggest lesson you learned out of this experience living in another country?
When I was a young man coming straight out of university, Washington State University, undergraduate, I was fortunate enough to become a part of a student intern program. And I went to the Philippines. And I landed in Manila in the middle of the night. And I grew up in a small town in Washington State. You know, my town would fit into a skyscraper in New York City, right?
Wow.
I land in Manila in the middle of the night. And Manila's a massive third world city. And right outside this airport is kind of a rough area, you know, one would probably call a slough. And the first experience I have pulling out of that airport is this little boy walking up to my window and, you know, putting his hands on my window and just plaintively, you know, begging me to help him. And whew, for the kid that I was, man, that was a massive reset button. I had never been exposed to anything like that. And so my time in the Philippines, I think at that point became very different from what it might have been. I found ways to go back to that slum. It was called La Verisa, and did a lot of volunteer work there, worked in schools and stuff like that there. Being overseas really kind of taught me that my sheltered middle-class American understanding of the world was way, way, way off. And I had no clue. It was awesome. I learned so much. I highly recommend getting the hell out of the country you grew up in and experiencing the world. Never been to Brazil, but I have been to London. Man, I would love to go to Brazil.
Yes, I totally agree what you say. I think when you go, you learn so much when you live in another country, a different culture. I left Brazil when I was fortunate. I left Brazil when I was 19 years old on my own. And I moved to Portugal. I was living in Portugal for 5 years before moving to the UK. And I must tell you, I've been away, actually next year is gonna be 20 years I've been away from my home, and it's going to be like next year I'm going to be more European than a South America, because I've been here for 20 years, very soon. And you learn a lot. I think, you don't learn that anywhere else. Any college or any university never gonna teach you that. I think just the life experience, as you said about the little boy, for you was just like a life lesson, you know what I mean? You're never gonna forget that. So I totally understand what you mean. I even got goosebumps now talking about it.
One interesting thing that I've done is I've kind of gone back to my beginning point. The town that I live in now is not far from where I grew up.
Right.
And so it's been an interesting circle,
Yes.
And I'm encountering the minds of the kids that I grew up with who never left.
Yes. I know.
Really, really, really interesting.
I know. I totally agree. Yes, absolutely. Next question for you is, good question. Send away a message to someone, but you don't need to tell who this message is for. Just the person who is going to be watching will know that this message is for this person. You don't need to tell who this message is for.
I love you. Anytime you want to sing Grease songs in the middle of the night when we're half drunk, I'm your man.
Very good, very good. Let's go for another question for you, Don. Let's do it. Next question for you is, what does your best friend do that comforts you the most?
Listens to me and then calls out my bullshit, but actually listens, doesn't do that. I'm waiting until it's my turn to talk. Actually listens to what I say and tells me that I'm wrong. That I can respect. That's the thing I love.
And only best friends can do that.
It's
for sure. Yeah, they're the only one able to know that.
Yep.
Next question. Okay, Don, before the next question, and what's the best part of being a writer, and what is the most challenging part?
The best part of being a writer is figuring stuff out. You start with a place that you think this is where you want to go, and then figuring out how to get there and all of the tools you're going to need along the way. And the hardest part is finding the time to do it and finding the space. Sometimes it's the cow has broken out of your pasture and has gone over to the neighbors, and you are in that place where you really want to get this written down. But, the world is the world, and I got to tell you, those interruptions, those things that drive me nuts make the writing so much better,
Oh,
because
good point.
Yeah, they give you the time to get pissed off or to get frustrated or to get, I don't know, whatever emotion it happens to be, you know? And it helps.
Good point. Good point. Next question for you is: do you have an ability that you think no one has or you never met before?
I've got a pretty powerful ability to love, and if you are someone who is in my realm, you are going to experience a love like no one else will ever show. So there you go. I've got the ability to love like no one else.
Wow. Lucky people around you. They're very lucky. Your loved ones. Amazing. Next question. Ready? Let's do it.
Yep.
Hey, Don, next question for you is, what is the biggest difference between you and your best friend?
The way we see the world. Mine tends to be more exploratory, and I want to problem solve. I want to dig in. I want to jump in. And hers is more, this is the way that it is. It's more cut and dried and more straight lines, and you got to follow the rules.
I see.
Does that make sense?
It does, absolutely.
Which helps a creative person like me rein things in, and I help a regimented person like her open things up. Yeah.
That's why it matched together, your relationship. Next question, Dom. Let's do it. For the next one, as you mentioned, you've been in London before. Tell me a little bit about your visit to London. How did it happen?
Well, it happened when I was living in New York, and it was one of my birthdays. I want to say it was one of those throwaway birthdays right after a big birthday, where I didn't want anyone doing anything, and I just kind of wanted to disappear. So without saying a word to anybody, I got a ticket to London and spent a week just walking around London. It was pretty damn awesome. I didn't contact anybody back home. I didn't respond to any birthday greetings or anything.
Wow.
Well, I didn't have a way to, because, you know, back in those days, there were no cell phones and stuff like that. So it was really amazing. I met just a crazy number of people who were incredibly friendly, and I got a lot of drunk. Had a great time. I went to a lot of museums. I experienced a lot of things, but what's funny is I don't know that I could tell you specifics about, oh yeah, well this is, yeah, I walked everywhere. I tasted everything. I talked to everyone. You know, when I travel to cities I've never been to before, I basically like to just get out and walk and see what's there and see what I can find, talk to people. Spent a week in Amsterdam and had no understanding of the city when I got there, but man, fell in love. Just the people, the things to see, crazy.
Very good. You should go back to London again to top up the memories again.
Would
refresh.
Love to. Right now, my life has one focus, and it's outside that window with all those awesome critics. So I'm a little tied to the ground at the moment.
Right.
Maybe
Next
I'll
question
do this for another 10 years, and then maybe start traveling.
Yeah. Right. Next question is, what do you miss the most of your childhood and why?
The freedom, you know, just the not having responsibilities. When I was a kid, my family moved around a lot. my some people collect stamps. My mother collects ex-husbands. She had several, and so we moved around a little bit. And the best place that we ever lived was in the Trinity National Forest in Northern California, and it was this tiny town called Big Flat, population maybe 20 people. And in the morning, I'd get up around 6 o'clock in the morning, I'd get some food in the kitchen, I'd go outside, and I'd come back at 6 o'clock at night to get some food again, and spend the whole day out in the forest and climbing and swimming and jumping, and it was awesome. You know, it was a life lived outdoors, had no concept of TV or any of that stuff. And man, if I could get back to that moment in time, I would take it, you know?
Very good, very good. Good memories for sure, for sure. Have you enjoyed the show so far, Don?
I've had a good time, man.
Yeah?
I've had a very good time.
Let's go for the next question. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
What's the weather look like right now? This early morning, Sunday morning. What feels like the weather over there?
Well, we have had a gorgeous summer. Oregon is more known for having rain than sun, right? But we have now gone, I want to say it's 77 days with no rain.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, so it kind of sucks. We're in the middle of a drought. It is probably 75 degrees outside and gorgeous weather. Like it has been every day for the last 77 days.
Wow.
So I really want some rain, but I gotta tell you, it's hard to complain because here in Oregon, when it's hot, it's just hot. It's not humid.
Right.
So it's very manageable and I can be out there working and it doesn't kill me. Whereas when I lived in Miami, 90 degrees with 100% humidity, good times. So Oregon on a beautiful day, there is nowhere else on earth more perfect.
Wow, very good. Next question for you is, what is the most dramatic argument you ever had?
Most dramatic argument. That's a good question. Wow, we would probably have to go way back to childhood. My mother, again, liked to collect ex-husbands. And at one point, the point where we lived in that little town in Northern California, she disappeared. She vanished and left us with a stepfather. We're awesome. And she shows up one night 6 months later and she wants to take my little sister.
Wow.
Not the rest of us. She wants to take my little sister.
Right.
And I think I use those words.
Oh my God.
And, at that time I would have been in 4th grade. So, yeah. Having that kind of conversation with your mother at like 3 o'clock in the morning when you're in 4th grade, I would say that was my most dramatic argument of my life.
Wow. I'm sure it was a challenge and not easy for sure.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Next question, Don. Let's do it. Okay, next question for you is, good question. What would be the title of your memoir?
Next. My life has been a series of adventures the way I see it. There was childhood and then kind of the high school into college years, and both of them were extreme adventures in completely different directions that I wouldn't change a damn thing about. And then post-college, I went to the Philippines and then came back and got a graduate degree and then went back overseas to Syria and it's just been a series of vignettes, series, and the one I'm in right now, I think I'll play this one out for a good 10 years and see how life on a farm goes. And then, I don't know, what the hell's next?
I love it. I love it. I love it. Right, so I have 3 questions left for you, okay? Let's do it.
All right.
Right, before the next question, as you mentioned that you lived in different places in America, and now you live in a very nature, like surrounded by nature. But if you could pick, let's say, if you need to change for some reason, if you could pick one seat in the USA to sit, like to live, like a big city, where that would be and why?
To be a city, yeah?
Yeah, like one of the biggest cities. Which one would be and why?
Let's see. I've lived for about 6 months in LA. I lived for about 6 months in San Francisco. Love both of them. Lived in New York. I lived in Miami. I've lived in Des Moines, Iowa, 12 years. Lived in the Philippines, and I've lived in Damascus, Syria. And love all of those places, but if I had to pick, does it have to be in the United States?
Yes, let's say United States, just to make a little bit easier for you.
No, that might make it harder. Because I was going to go with, I would probably want to try Bangkok as far as a big city. But in the United States, I think I would go with Minneapolis.
Why is that?
Because it kind of has the balance between metropolitan life and the kind of savoir-faire. So you get the bonuses of living in an actual city, but 15, 20 miles away, you've got deep woods. You've got awesome forest to experience. You've got, just an amazingly rich field of experiences all around you. The one thing they don't have is the ocean, but they've got big lakes, so those will suffice. And you got the headwater up there, so.
Very good, good one. Okay, next question is: what is your funniest memory of your time at school?
When I was in 2nd grade, my teacher's name was Mrs. Miracle. And Mrs. Miracle, she loved me. We had a great relationship. But I was a handful. And she had no problem addressing me as being a handful, and regularly made clear that I was a handful. And I have a very distinct memory of one morning she asked me, "What are you going to be when you grow up?" And I said to her without missing a beat, "I am going to be a teacher so I can be as mean as you are." Which totally caught her off guard, totally made her laugh, and the rest of the class just kind of fell apart. And so it was a pretty sweet moment. And
wow.
For the jokester, for the play around kid that I was, that was pretty awesome. Imagine that, getting attention.
I'll need to share a story with you. When I was in high school, I was I think I was 6 years old or 7 years old. A teacher, she gave us let's say a questionnaire with questions, like about personal questions about yourself. And there was a question, the same question she asked: what would you like to be when you grow up? Do you know what was my answer? I wrote Michael Jackson. Next day she came up to me next day and said, "William, come here." I said, "What happened?" She said, "Look, you don't understand this question." I said, "Yes, I did." "I'm sure." I said, "Why did you put Michael Jackson?" I said, "Because I'd like to be Michael Jackson." I said, "Michael Jackson's not a profession." I was like, I know, but I would like to be Michael Jackson. That's my answer to you. And I don't remember how it ended up, but I remember my mom talked to me about it. I think maybe she contacted my mom to explain to me somehow, because I didn't want to get the message. And I remember my mom talking to me somehow. I have these memories of my mom trying to explain to me that Michael Jackson wasn't a profession. I could be a dancer or a performer or a musician or anything, but not Michael Jackson.
Isn't that the perfect kid answer, though? I mean, that is exactly the answer a kid should give, you know?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Good example of what I want to be when I grow up.
Yes, absolutely.
Brilliant answer.
As you were talking before, when the children just say whatever they feel, you know what I mean? It comes from the heart, it comes from, and that's exactly what I meant. And I did that. She was trying to explain to me, and I was like, no, I want to be Michael Jackson when I grow up.
I actually had one of those musicians that was the opposite from me. I didn't want anything to do with him, and because of the name.
All right.
Donny Osmond. You familiar? The Osmonds. It was a very American thing, and probably most of the world said no. But it would have been about that same time period. And the Osmonds were a kid group like the Jacksons.
All right.
But because my first name is Don, I constantly got Donnie and hated him. But loved Michael.
Okay, cool. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Good question. Next question for you is, if you could go anywhere in the world right now, where would you go and why?
My front porch. I'm good. I'm good. I got everything I need right here. You know, I got the things I love. I get to do what I want. If I go outside buck naked at 3 a.m., nobody's going to be giving me a hard time. If I want to howl at the moon at midnight and drink a quart of fucking whiskey, I'm good. You know, I've got my critters around me. I've got the people I love around me. Life is good. I don't need to go anywhere. I look out my window. I see what, 4 mountains. I see Mount Hood. I see Mount Rainier. I see Mount Jefferson. I cannot complain about a damn thing. I don't need to be anywhere else. I'm good here.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Ready for the last question?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Last one. Before the next question, Don, when you look back last year, when the world went upside down last year, March last year, what is the most positive thing you took out of this journey that the world's, let's say, still facing since last year? There is something positive that you took out all of this time?
I did a complete rewrite. You know, I assessed the situation and paid attention to the rules and things that governments were trying to put in place and the way that people were behaving. And I just made the conscious decision to say, that noise, you know, I'm good right here. I don't need to go out there. I don't need your mandates. I don't need all of that stuff. You know, when I go into the city, I follow all of the community rules. I do all of the right things. I'm double vaccinated and I'm, you know, ready to get a third one if they tell me to. But I was teaching then and teaching full time. And they closed the schools down and, you know, then they started opening things up and there were, well, we want everyone to wear masks, but no, I'm sorry. Way too many, I don't want to say stupid people out there, but there are way too many stupid people out there playing way too many games and prolonging something that should have been winding down now. But what I did was I built my world and all of these things that I've been dreaming about doing for the last 50 years, I'm doing. Stop putting on pause, you know? I think more than anything else, that's what the pandemic did for me, was make me just jumpstart all of my plans, get everything moving now. I had planned to do what I'm doing now, but I had planned to stage it in over several years. And all of a sudden I had a lot of free time. And it's been awesome, man. It's been awesome.
Amazing.
This pandemic is horrible, don't get me wrong.
Of course.
What it has done for resetting my life. And I suspect it's true of a lot of people. You know, you're hearing all these stories about people not wanting to go back to jobs. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe they discovered there's an actual life out there and there's actual world out there and you can do something other than a job. The amount of people that I'm reading about who are selling all of their and buying an RV, and so they're going to live full-time traveling around in RVs now. I think that this thing has changed the world, and it's going to be really interesting to see what comes out on the other side. I'm pretty excited.
Absolutely. I think that we found a way to adjust ourselves to this new world. You know what I mean? I think we found a way to live, for sure.
I think so.
Last question, Don. Let's do it.
All right.
Last question is, what does money mean to you?
It's a tool. It's something I use to do things. You know, I do things to get it, and then I use it to do other things. Period. It doesn't control my world. It's not important to me. It's good to have tools, and it's good to have good tools and lots of tools and things like that. But it's a tool. You know, it's a means to an end. And it doesn't drive my world. It doesn't drive my life. It is just a tool.
Very good, very good. Okay, it's not the end yet. Okay, let's play now the word association game. I'm going to give away some words and you just tell me one word that comes to your mind, okay? Quick thinking, right? Let's start with family.
Love.
How about life?
Short.
How about love?
Family.
Money?
Tool.
Okay. Sex?
Awesome.
Politics?
Necessary.
Religion?
Pointless.
Fear?
Healthy.
Good one. Friendship?
Important.
Desire?
Driving.
Regret?
Useless.
Success?
Undetermined.
Happiness?
Love.
If I tell you wish, one word.
Wish. You know, it's funny, I don't wish. I want, and then I work. So, no.
Okay, cool. And one word for writer.
Solver.
One word for teacher.
What's one word for problem solver? You'd think I'd be able to come up with that. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. But a guide. How about that?
I like that. I like this one. And one word for science.
Exploration.
And the last one now, USA.
Ooh, one word?
One word.
One word. Imperfect.
Like that. Right, so let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friends and I'm going to ask your best friends, tell me the most beautiful thing about Don and tell me something that he still needs to improve on. What do you think your best friend will tell me?
that if you need something, I got your back. Just tell me what it is. The one thing I need to work on, sometimes my opinions are a little strong, and I need to remember when to shut the fuck up.
I'll leave like that. Right, let's play now Don and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But okay, Don, you can ask me a question now.
What was the first book that you remember from childhood?
Right, there is a book that it's kind of, let's say, it's about spiritualism. Yeah, I was around 16 years old, I think, when I got this book. And actually, I still have it here, actually. I still have it here with me. Since then, I kept with me, like traveling, I go around, always by my side. It's a book where it talks a lot about being spiritual, how you connect with the spiritual words, and how it's not about what I learned of it. I'm not sure how to translate in English, because it's the name of a flower. It's violet, like violet in the window, it says. It doesn't make sense much in English, I'm not sure, but it's like the cover is like this violet flower by the window, and the window there. So I think it says a lot. It's just about being open to spirituality, how to connect with your soul, how to connect with your with yourself, being open, being approachable. And there's that book kind of stuck to my head since I got it, because I read it a few times, and I like to read it in a different period of my life, because I see in a different way somehow, and I get a different message as well. So yeah, that's the book that it stuck to my head since I was a teenager when I got it. And and I remember a friend of mine gave to me. She was talking a lot about it. She was so excited about it. She said, "Oh, you must read this book, must read it." And when I got it, I was like, okay, there we go. And actually, the first time when I read it, I didn't connect much with the book. It makes sense. And I was like, oh my God, what? I think I got so overexcited about it, and I was like trying to get the message there, but it was clear. And when I read for the second time, I kind of connected with the book more. And yeah, that's the book that genuinely came to my mind when you asked this question.
Nice. Isn't it interesting how there are like 3 or 4 books that I will go back to again and again and just reread them for the renewed experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And each time they're very different from the time before. Totally. And I've got actually the most thing that you can find in my house, my place, is books. Because some of them I like to give away books as well, sometimes when I'm looking around, sometimes I go like, oh my God, is that my book or I got from someone? Because sometimes when I see someone, they go like, oh, Will, I've got this book, like to read. I said, yes, give it to me. And sometimes I'm not sure if they're mine or if I forgot to give back. But yeah, it makes all sense. Sometimes some books I don't give away because I would like to read it in the field, just to get different message, because we change our point of view. So like in a blink of eyes, just change your point of view. Sometimes you need to connect again with the book to learn a different message, to see a different message out of it, for sure. It's true.
Don, did you have a good time?
I did. This was awesome. This was a great time.
Thanks so much. Thanks for taking the time on Sunday morning for the interview. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure connecting with you. Thanks for sharing so much experience in your life. My God, I was expecting, I didn't know, the thing is about the show is sometimes I don't look too much into the profile of my guests, because I like to get to know the person through the interview. And as soon as you start talking, I was like, wow, when you said you're a teacher, I said it makes sense. The way you talk, the way you express yourself, being a writer as well. With this book, I was like, oh my God, I felt a bit intimidated at the beginning, I must say. I felt intimidated at the beginning. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do that? But I got relaxed. You made me relax, and I really enjoyed the interview. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. I hope the animals haven't been too noisy.
No, I loved it. I can't wait to put it out the interview for people to go like, oh my God, look the sound of the animals. I think it brings good energy. I think when you hear an animal express, it's just energy come along. I think it's it's a genuine energy. You are about
Sorry,
to show.
man, I was trying to show you my dog who's been in the room here with me.
Where is he? I couldn't hear a noise actually through the interview. Is he around still or not? He's gone.
He's here, but let's see if I can do it this time without causing a big commotion. Come here. He's kind of a big dog, so it's a little hard. Oh, there we go.
Oh my God!
Right?
Oh wow!
That's
It's a
Balder.
boy. Balder.
Yeah.
Hello, hello. Oh
Say
my
hi,
God!
Balder.
What a size of a dog! Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
He's a very big boy.
How old is
He's been
he?
sitting under my feet the whole time we've been talking.
How old is he?
Boulder is 3 years old, 3.5.
Oh wow, still a little boy. Okay, Don, just before you go, if you can share a positive message or a positive quote, something that inspires you in life.
Okay. My way of looking at the world is life is short. Life is way too short. Hurry. Get things done. Matter. Do something important. Go out and live. Have fun. That's it. That's my only advice.
Very good, very good. Thanks for your time. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure connect with you. I could go another hour here just learning. I didn't see this interview as an interview, so as a learning process. I was trying to get the most I could from you.
Been a pleasure, man. Thank you for the conversation.
Thank you so much and keep in touch, okay? I'll let you know when the interview goes live, okay? It was a pleasure. All the best. Enjoy your day.
If you ever find yourself in Amity, Oregon, stop by. Say hi.
I will for sure. Oh, I will for sure.
Bye, man.
And in
You're
London
welcome.
as well. When you come to London next time, I'll be more than happy to show you around, okay?
Awesome. I'll take you up on that.
Take care. Enjoy your day.
Take care, man. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.